My name is Dustin Tavella. I'm an artist, singer-songwriter from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For 5 years, I was a missionary with Youth with a Mission based out of Tyler, Texas. And, kind of in that time being a missionary, as I'm traveling around the world leading worship, I was I started to see the influence that I was able to have in people's lives just because of the music. And from there, I kind of started writing my own stuff and, just as a means to kind of attract people, to kind of get their attention and then to be able to speak with them, life and hope and encouragement and, the message of Jesus Christ. I kind of decided from there that I wanted to start pursuing the music full time, and kind of start following that as my career and as my mission field. It was a little scary at first. I didn't really know where I was going, what I was doing. I didn't have any connections in the music industry. But, I was trusting God, and I really felt like this was the place that God wanted to take me. And so I moved back home to Philadelphia, and 2 months later, I'm in the studio with people like Justin Bieber and The Dream and Tricky Stewart, and brushing shoulders with producers and working with producers that worked with like Chris Brown and Usher and B.O.B. and Taylor Swift. And it was just so ridiculous, the stuff that God was able to do just in such a small amount of time. I think that it's so important to be part of an industry that molds culture and that molds nations, really. The entertainment industry is full of role models, and unfortunately not all these role models are reflecting Jesus Christ. I would say, any encouragement that I would give to somebody that's kind of pursuing a career in this industry, making a name for yourself and having fans and people wanting to know you it's definitely cool. It's an adrenaline rush. But there's nothing more rewarding than being able to offer something more than that. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me is, you get into these places where you meet people of crazy, crazy influence in the industry, or, you have all these fans coming to you, or you're putting up a video on YouTube. And to know that you're bringing life to these people is something, to me, it's far more important than just trying to make a name for yourself. I can think of, plenty of times I actually have a song about abortion, and there's been so many moms that will write me and be like, hey, I saw the video of that song, and I just want you to know that I chose not to have an abortion, and there's a child alive because of that song, And to me, to know that there's literally a human being that exists because of a gift that God gave me to use, that is something that's way more valuable than knowing that there's a billion people that know me. It's way more important than knowing that I'm famous or something. And I think if you can really make sure you're managing your priorities and remembering that it's way more important to bring life than it is to glorify yourself, and it's way more important to glorify God than it is to glorify your own name, I think that's the biggest thing, because your identity is not your career. Your identity is not this industry. Your identity is not even your gifts. Your identity is who God says you are. And if you can go into this place knowing that, and you can go into this place just completely protected and secure, I think that's the best thing that you can do. My name is Dustin Tavella. I'm a recording artist from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I support F.A.M.E. Ministries.